Well, good morning and welcome to Taitua Arboretum. It's a 20-hectare reserve that's on the west side of Hamilton, and I'm out here today to do some film photography with the Zenza Bronica ETRS. I've got some ETRS 100 loaded up, and I've got some Delta 100 loaded up. We'll take a couple of different shots of each thing that I find. We're just going to wander around and see what there is, but it's a good place to practice some film photography, especially on a day like today where it's somewhat cloudy. We got mostly just all high clouds and everything is like a nice giant softbox. So let's take a wander, see what we can find, and do some film photography here in Hamilton, New Zealand. Thanks for joining me. Let's get moving. I think our first stop is going to be this little arboretum. Not an arboretum, what is it? Just a little these legs need a good clean. They're full of sand from my last outing. That's a bit tall. With the waist finder on the ETRS, tripod needs to be a little lower. There we go. All right, we currently have a 50mm lens on here, and we're gonna see how that does with this scene. If you're wondering about the roosters in the background, it is what it is. There are roosters here. All right, waist finder, currently have Delta 100 in the back. Got that set now. All right, I've got the Reveni Labs spot meter, and I generally use the averaging mode. So I shoot the shadows, shoot the highlights, it averages it for me, and then I put the settings in. So I'm gonna shoot the shadow of those shrubs underneath that bench, then the gray-white post. And it tells me f16 1/30th of a second at ISO 100. So f16 1/30th of a second. Still in focus. So here we go. Dark slide out. And there we go. First shot taken. But let's change this out, this film back out, and put in color film, and let's do the same thing. Remember, we're just playing today. We're going to see what's going on, see how my film photography is going. So the film back comes off, new film back on. With the clouds changing, I'm going to spot this again. Still the same thing. Advance that and now I'm on 1 here. Make sure we're in focus. Little button here lets me see what I'm going to get. Closes the aperture down for me to the f16. That looks a little dull, a little dim, so I'm going to change that to f11. That looks a little better. Dark slide out now. Ready to take this shot. And there we go. Dark slide back in. Ready to move on to the next shot. Shooting this scene. It's got some nice light on the trees, nice light at the end of the path there before it disappears. Let's get that done. Get some focus down this path. Meter it. People coming up the track. Shadow, highlight, 1/2 of a second at f16. We're going to change that to 1/8 of a second at f8. Let's get this shot in before people show up. Dark slide out. We're advanced, focused. That looks good. Take the shot. Advance the film. Dark slide in. Good to go. All right, got that color shot done. Now we're going to do black and white. Same scene, same settings, should be. Let's double check that. Yep, shoot the shadow, shoot the highlight. Says the same thing. Yep, so and advance that. With the way the Bronica is set up, without the dark slide out, can't take a shot. Without the shutter and the mirror advanced, you can't take a shot. It's pretty secure, so I just need to remember to make sure I advance, which is not my norm when I'm changing out the film backs, because if I don't advance it, then I have to do what I just did and could compromise an image, so I don't want to do that. Anyway, another scene done. Let's move on, take another shot. This looks like an interesting scene. Little detail shot, bark of the tree, contrasting greens, some in shadow, some in sun. Let's see what we can do here. Well, looking at this shot, I'm getting a little too much around the edges, so I think I'll change it out for the 75 mil. We'll see how that looks. Cool thing about a film camera, or this film camera anyway, I don't need to worry about a sensor. No sensor to worry about. Camera's ready to go. that in focus. All right, do a little metering. That bright spot on the tree down low. The shadows right behind it. And we're at the same thing. Nice. Sure, I like that. Put it at a 1/4 second. We've got a little bit of breeze. See if I can get that to, well, not me. See if it will stop before more people show up. Dark slide out. We are set and ready to go. 1/4 second, that's kind of long for the movement in the leaves, but we'll see how it does. Dark slide back in. Advance the film. And now we get out of the way. Well, because I had to move for those people, composition won't be exactly the same, but it's pretty close. Dark slide out, ensure focus, check the aperture. It's a little dark. Let's change that to f11, f8, 1/8 of a second. Let's just make sure. Shoot the highlight, shadow, sorry. Shoot the shadow. Shoot the highlight. Yep. All right. So here we go. We're in focus. Cool. Another scene down. Advance it. Dark slide in. And we're ready to go. Next scene, we're going to see if we can shoot these smaller trees as well as the plants on the ground. They're spaced out. Let's see if we can isolate some of them. Lots of dead leaves off of those trees. We'll see what we can do. We're kind of losing the sun though, so that's to be expected. The weather's supposed to just decline over the next few hours. All right, let's get set up. All right, got the 75mm lens on. We'll see how that looks. Might need to trade it out for the 50. Let's get this level. Pop up the lens. Let's see about taking this down. With this camera on this way, the thing is, the controls are backwards, so I'm constantly going up and down, back and forth with them. All right, yeah, we're gonna trade this out for the for the 50. Just a little wider. See if we can get a shallower depth of field. Come on. There we go. All right, so All right, black and white done. Now color. It's ISO 100, 160 now for the Portra. Yeah, I misspoke earlier. It's Portra 160, not ETRS 100. So it was half a second for the 100 with the Ilford Delta 100. So now with the 160, it's either f8 and a half second, or keep it at f11 but take it up to a second. We'll have to wait for breeze to calm down. People coming. Alright, let's see what we can do about capturing some detail in these little plants here. Just gonna set up real close. Really low down. I bet somebody's gonna come along any second now. Let's go ahead and get this out. All right. That's not gonna work. All right, let's see what we can do. I had to go back to the car, and then I left my light meter in the car. So we're going to cheat. Well, not cheating, we're just gonna use a different light meter. This one is fairly accurate in the phone. One-eighth of a second, ISO 160, f5.6. Change that around. Make sure we're focused. Dark slide out. Composition looks pretty good. All right, so there's that one. And now let's get rid of the Portra and put on the Delta. Dark slide out. There we go. All right, one detailed scene. Let's see what else we can find. All right, let's take a look at this scene. We'll use the phone again. F11, ISO 160. Looking at a third of a second. All right. It's just up the track, lots of leaves. Track goes off to the left. Dark slide out. Looking down. I hear the wind coming. We got the shot off before any disturbance down there. That was Portra. Let's put the Delta in. Alright, Delta in. Dark slide out. Adjust it down for the transition from 160 to 100. The leaf just fell, but I missed it. Alright, advance that one. Dark slide back in. Another scene down. Running out of light though. We need to wrap this up pretty soon. And we'll see what we can find on our way out.